All right, so diving into the deep end today. Pete Rose. I mean, the name practically is baseball, right? But it's complicated. You sent over this ESPN article, and I gotta say, I get it. You want the whole story, not just the scandal. You want the good, the bad, what is it, Charlie Hustle?
Yeah, you got it. It's Rose's story. It's bigger than just baseball. It gets at that drive, that need to win, and that line we walk, between legend and, well, cautionary tale.
Well, the article doesn't mess around. Right off the bat, bam, 4,256 hits. That's not a career. That's like a force of nature. I mean, are we ever going to see that broken? What makes that number really hit home for you?
It's how he got there.
Yeah.
Rose, he wasn't just hitting it out of the park every time. He was grinding, turning those singles into doubles with pure, well, willpower, I guess you'd call it. And Charlie Hustle, perfect nickname, right?
Yeah.
Every play. Like it was game 7.
He had that energy, that's for sure. But here's what gets me. Even before all the other stuff, the gambling, he was already what's the word? A lightning rod, right? Some people just didn't jive with his style, how intense he was. It went beyond just, breaking the rules of the game.
Exactly. That's what makes this so interesting. You look at that All-Star game, 1970. He just plows into Ray Foss at home plate, winning run scores. Some people, they loved it, the hustle. Others, reckless.
Yeah.
Disrespectful even. For an exhibition game, right? It's like, that was Rose in a nutshell.
Right. It makes you wonder, was that intensity part of what made him so great? Or was it always going to, I don't know, lead to trouble?
And that's the question hanging over everything. You see it with the Big Red Machine, right? He's the heart and soul, but sometimes butted heads. 2 World Series, sure, but always that friction.
It's almost like, that saying, live fast, die young. But instead of dying, he's just stuck in this what could have been.
That's why that hitting streak in 78 is so, I don't know, captivating. He's chasing history, DiMaggio. But even then, there's that edge, pushing too hard on the field, off the field.
Ties a National League record, 44 games,
Yeah.
amazing. But falling short of DiMaggio's 56. It's almost like, I don't know, symbolic, like something else was in the cards.
Exactly. And that something else, well, that takes us down a whole other path, a different kind of legacy. And that's a whole other story. Because, well, as incredible as all that was on the field, we got to talk about the scandal. It's the elephant in the room. Can't ignore it.
Nope. Can't ignore it if we're going to really get the full picture, right?
Yeah.
And the article goes deep. The investigation, the ban, everything. For someone who might not, know all the details, walk us through it.
So rewind to 89. Rose is managing the Reds, and these rumors start. Not just like casual betting. We're talking serious allegations.
Whoa.
Betting on baseball games.
And not just any games, right? This is where it goes from like a personal thing to something that really, I don't know, shakes the whole sport.
Yeah, exactly. The investigation, led by this guy, John Dowd, it starts uncovering stuff. And it's pointing to Rose betting on games with his own team, the Reds. Major no-no. In any sport, really.
Throws everything into question, right? Like, every decision he made as manager, was it strategy or was there something else going on?
Yes. $1 million question right there. And gets to why gambling is such a poison in pro sports. It eats away at the integrity of the game. Fans got to be able to believe what they're seeing is real.
So how'd Rose react when these allegations come out? Did he, come clean?
Not at first. He denied it, big time. Lawyers, the whole 9 yards, insisted he never bet against the Reds. And for a bit, it was kind of like his word against theirs.
But the article, it talks about this report, this Dowd report.
Yeah, Dowd's report was thorough, man. Laid it all out. Records, people talking, painted a pretty clear picture of what was going on. Tough to refute.
And that's what leads to the ban, right? 1989, banned for life by the commissioner, Giamatti. Huge deal.
Oh, monumental. Sent shockwaves through baseball, for sure. Giamatti, at the press conference, he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, one of the game's greats, tarnished it, got to live with it. Powerful stuff.
For sure. But it doesn't end there, right? Even after the ban, Rose and the truth, it's a complicated relationship.
Totally. For years, he's still denying it, even with everything piling up. Then, 2004, 15 years later, he admits it. Says, yeah, bet on baseball, including the Reds.
Wow. 15 years. What do you think finally made him confess?
Hard to say. Maybe hoping to get back in baseball's good graces. Maybe just couldn't live with the lie anymore. Who knows?
Because he has tried to get reinstated, right? People saying, look at what he did on the field. That should count for something. How do you see that argument?
Man, that's a tough one. No easy answers there.
Yeah.
On one hand, yeah, Rose's career, legendary. Grit, determination, the whole package.
Yeah.
But then, what he did, it cuts deep, right? Fans got to trust the game.
It's like, can you separate the player from the, I don't know, the person? Celebrate the achievements while still saying what you did was wrong.
Exactly. And that's what people are still arguing about today. No right answer.
It's interesting, though. 99, he gets named to that all-century team. Huge honor. But it almost feels like, I don't know, bittersweet.
Totally. I mean, you're talking Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron. To be in that group,
Right.
incredible. But yeah, the shadow's still there. What could have been?
So we've talked about the highs, the lows, the whole roller coaster. What's the one thing, the most important thing for someone listening to understand about Pete Rose?
I think it's this.
Hmm.
Pete Rose, he's not just a baseball player. He's like a walking example of how complicated people are, capable of amazing things and messing up big time.
It's like a reminder that nobody's perfect, even the heroes.
Right. And it makes you think about forgiveness, second chances, all that. And how much weight do we put on what someone accomplishes versus, their mistakes?
Yeah, and it's that, I don't know, that messiness that makes him so interesting, right? He wasn't just some guy out there hitting a ball. It's like we see ourselves in his story, the good and the bad.
Exactly. It goes way beyond baseball. It's about, messing up, those second chances, and can we ever really separate the person from what they do, good or bad?
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can we as fans, as people, really do that? Separate the art from the artist?
Yeah, and that's what sticks with you long after the game's over, right?
Yeah.
No easy answer. Rose's story, it makes you look in the mirror a bit. What's important to you? Winning at all costs, playing by the rules, knowing even heroes well.
They're human, right? It's like one of those puzzles, you see all the pieces, but no matter how you arrange them, there's always one that just doesn't quite.
And that's what keeps bringing us back to Rose.
Yeah.
The debates, the books, the what ifs.
The what ifs, like what if he just walked away, top of his game, no gambling? Would he be this, like, beloved icon, Mr. Hustle, totally clean slate?
Who knows? But it's an interesting thought, isn't it? Maybe that intensity maybe would have come out some other way, caused problems even without the,
Without the gambling cloud hanging over everything. It's like you said, that fire, it made him who he was, but it also, well, burned him in the end.
Yeah, it's Pete Rose, right?
Yeah.
Triumph, tragedy, inspiration, cautionary tale.
Yeah.
All rolled into one. Shows you that life, it ain't always so simple as a box score, even in baseball.
It's a story that makes you think, that's for sure. And maybe that's the point. The choices we make, the consequences, and that sometimes the best stories, they don't wrap up with a neat little bow.